Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here. In today's video, we're going to be taking an early look at the two new charge moves for DELPHOX as a part of Fennekin Calm Day, Blast Burn and Mystical Fire in the Great League. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, DELPHOX gets Blast Burn as a legacy move, and Mystical Fire as a brand new charge move in Pokemon Go. Mystical Fire is a Fire-type Icy Wind clone. So without further ado, let's up into the matches and check out Mystical Fire Blast Burn DELPHOX in the Great League. Hopping to the first match, picking up a positive lead, Noctowl into Medicham. Opponent banks an Ice Punch, save switches into the Dunsparce, and Dunsparce will be met with the Sky Attack from the Noctowl. Noctowl gonna stay in this matchup, look to farm up, go for the catch onto the Galarian Stunfisk. Dunsparce able to hang on to its energy. But the unfortunate thing for Dunsparce is that 2 drill runs are not enough to KO, and with Rollout doing absolutely no damage to the Stunfisk, unfortunately Dunsparce is not going to be able to farm down. We are going to see Stunfisk farming up, firing off the Earthquake here. Earthquake will be lethal. We see a no shield from the opponent. Opponent can now get a little bit of farm on the Medicham. Medicham did lead with energy, but so did the Noctowl. Noctowl re-farmed up energy, firing off the Sky Attack and getting a shield from the Medicham. Medicham will be able to make it to 2 Ice Punches here. Noctowl going to shield the first. Medicham farming up, able to outpace and make it to Ice Punch number 2. This will not be enough to KO. Ice Punch is going to connect. We see the switch into the Registeel, and Registeel is unfortunately able to catch the Sky Attack. But now it is DELPHOX time. DELPHOX running Fire Spin, Mystical Fire, and Blast Burn. Registeel makes it to Zap Cannon. We see the shield on the DELPHOX. DELPHOX does not get debuffed. DELPHOX now going for the Mystical Fire bait here. Mystical Fire gets the shield. It's an Icy Wind clone, so it will lower Registeel's attack. And Registeel is going to be hit with another Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire has such a cool animation. Gets the KO. In comes Medicham. Medicham cannot make it to the Psychic as DELPHOX Blast Burn takes down the Medi. And that is a good game. We've got Spice in the lead in the next match. Noctowl into Beware. Beware gonna stay in this matchup, able to outpace the Noctowl and strike first with a Superpower. Superpower is going to connect. Opponent is gonna save switch into Dubwool, which is a bit of a core breaker for this team, and Dubwool will be answered with DELPHOX. Building up to the Blast Burn, baiting with the Mystical Fire. Opponent is going to call the bait. Attack has been debuffed, but payback would hurt. We see a shield, it's a Body Slam. This is not enough for a payback, so DELPHOX can no shield here. Opponent is running Wild Charge on the Dubwool. They're now debuffed. DELPHOX looking for the farm down, but with 1 HP. Dubwool able to hang on and grab the second shield. That is a bit unfortunate. In comes Beware. Beware is going to be hit with the Mystical Fire bait. Beware commits the shield. DELPHOX is going to get farmed down, but the nice thing is the Beware is debuffed. In the back, opponent has their own Noctowl, and Noctowl is going to have to deal with the Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk going for the Rock Slide here. Will need 3 Rock Slides to KO in this matchup. Noctowl up his shield does have the ability to flip this matchup as they land the Shadow Ball. Stunfisk going for Rock Slide number 2, really looking to put pressure onto the opponent here. Rock Slide is going to connect. We see the no shield from the opponent. They're hanging on to that final shield, and they're going to be going for another Shadow Ball here. Is Shadow Ball going to be enough to KO? Stunfisk gets KO'd. It's going to be a fast move race. Noctowl gets the farm down. Back in comes Beware. Beware is going to have to shield the Sky Attack here. Beware looking to build up to the back-to-back and cannot get there. Sky Attack KOs Beware, and that's game over. Picking up a great lead in the next match, Noctowl into Swampert. Swampert is absolutely devastating to the backline here, so incredibly nice to catch it on the lead. And on top of that, this is a regular Swampert, not a Shadow, meaning that Noctowl can tank 2 Hydro Cannons, and honestly has a pretty nice matchup overall. Swampert is going to no-shield the Sky Attack and return fire with a barrage of Hydro Cannons. Hydro Cannon number 1 is going to connect. Unfortunately, 1 turn lag there means that the Noctowl does not sneak the Wing Attack as it should. Hydro Cannon number 2 is going to connect. Noctowl is going to be returning fire here with the Sky Attack, and Sky Attack will get the KO. Opponent sends in Shadow Powder Snow Alolan Ninetales, and Ninetales gets the farm down. Ninetales is going to be answered with a DELPHOX. in the back. Opponent is running Sableye, and in comes Galarian Stunfisk. The Sableye did get an energy lead here, and that could prove to be a bit tricky for the Stunfisk. Stunfisk is farming up energy here. Stunfisk building up to the Earthquake, baiting with the Rock Slide, and unfortunately losing CMP to the Sableye. Sableye is going to grab the first shield. Stunfisk going for a bait here. Can it get a shield? Yes, it can. That is big. Stunfisk going for the Earthquake, losing CMP again, and this is quite uncomfortable. Honestly, at this point, I think you kind of have to trust in the DELPHOX. DELPHOX going for the Mystical Fire here. Mystical Fire is going to be lethal. Opponent forced to commit the shield. Sableye now debuffed. Sableye firing off a charge move here. DELPHOX running out of HP as the Shadow Claws connect. Looking for the farm down. We see the snipe with the Ninetales. Hopping into the next match, we've got Mirror Leads Noctowl into Noctowl. Gonna stay in this matchup to start, farming up, switch, and a beautiful catch, catching the Sky Attack onto the Galarian Stunfisk where it is resisted. Checking if there's a Water type or a Trevenant in the back, and there is. In comes Swampert. Swampert firing off a charge move on the CMP tie to the Earthquake. Swampert full sends the Quake, leaving no doubt that the Stunfisk has been KO'd. But now you can send back in the Noctowl. Noctowl does have a lot of stored energy here. The Swampert will be able to make a Hydro before the second Sky Attack is reached, but the nice thing is, Hydro not going to be enough to KO. Swampert is going to win CMP here. Decision time for the Noctowl. Noctowl's going to let this go. Noctowl will be able to get the KO with the Sky Attack. And the question is, what does the opponent send in? Going for the Undercharge. It is still going to be enough to KO, and we see the Noctowl mirror again, but the opponent wins CMP. That is a bit uncomfortable. We are going to see a shield here. Noctowl firing back with a Sky Attack, looking to get some chip damage onto the opponent. Opponent is going to no shield. This is again going to come down to a CMP tie. At this point, I think you just have to let the Noctowl go and trust in DELPHOX to try and close this game. Sky Attack will be lethal. In comes the DELPHOX looking for the Fire Spin farm down. Noctowl is going to make it to the Shadow Ball. DELPHOX is going to have to give up the final shield. What does the opponent have in the back? They have a Medicham. Full sending here, going for the Blast Burn. Do they respect it? They do! Opponent shielding up the Blast Burn, and that is very uncomfortable here for DELPHOX. DELPHOX making it to the Mystical Fire, looking to debuff the Medicham. Medicham will commit the shield. Medicham does have enough for the Psychic here. Psychic is debuffed and resisted. Psychic gets the DELPHOX low. DELPHOX runs out of HP, and that's game over. Dream Lead in the next match, Noctowl into Trevenant. Opponent will need to immediately get out of here. Opponent is going to save switch into Medicham, and Medicham will be answered with the DELPHOX. With the energy lead, Medicham able to strike first and make it to the Psychic. Psychic is resisted, but DELPHOX is very glassy, so we will see a shield. DELPHOX opting to full send here, going for the Blast Burn. Blast Burn, big damage onto the Medicham, and DELPHOX gets the farm down. Opponent can send back in the Trevenant. Trevenant deals super effective damage, but also takes super effective damage. DELPHOX going for the Mystical Fire here, gets the shield and gets the attack drop, getting some extra Fire Spin damage in. And now you send in the Noctowl in the back. It is going to be the Frostlass, and Frostlass not seeing what it was hoping to see as it's met with Galarian Stunfisk. Avalanche is going to connect onto the Stunfisk. Stunfisk is going to be firing off the Rock Slide here. Rock Slide is going to get no shielded as Frostlass now starting to get quite low in terms of HP. Rock Slide number 2 is going to grab the final shield. Frostlass returning fire with the Avalanche, and we just see a no shield from the Stunfisk. Frostlass going for the undercharge here. Frostlass looking for the farm down and gets it. What a perfect farm down. Frostlass trying to do what it can to get rid of the Noctowl, but Noctowl with a shield remaining shields up the Avalanche. In comes the Trevenant. Trevenant has energy, but unfortunately it goes absolutely nowhere against the Noctowl. Noctowl at this point basically just looking to farm up to the back-to-back Sky Attacks here. Seed Bomb just not going to be doing enough. Noctowl very comfortably makes it to the back-to-back charge moves here. Sky Attack takes down the Trevenant and leaves with the Sky Attack loaded to take care of the low HP Frostlass as Noctowl gets the win. The Ghost leads continue in the next match. Noctowl into Sableye. This is a very favorable lead for Noctowl. Opponent gonna stay in with the Sableye, so something in back does not want to see the Owl. Noctowl farming up, going for the Sky Attack, but losing CMP to the Sableye. Sableye full sends the return, and that's gonna deal quite a lot of damage to the Noctowl. Noctowl going for the Sky Attack here. One Sky Attack, not gonna KO, but gets a shield from the opponent. Opponent clearly has a vested interest in getting rid of the Noctowl. Sky Attack number 2 is going to connect onto the Sableye, and we see a switch into the Galarian Stunfisk to absorb that energy. Sableye did go for the foul play, and now we see a Stunfisk mirror, but the opponent is at a shield disadvantage. Opponent firing off a charge move here. This is not enough for the Earthquake. Opponent just trying to get whatever chip damage they can, but they're in a very difficult situation here, as now you can just full send the Earthquake. That's gonna connect. Can't quite get the farm down, but again, this should only be a Rock Slide. So able to tank that, get the farm down. In the back, ooh, I didn't actually quite see what came in there. Throwing the Rock Slide into an Araquanid. That is a very cool pick. Araquanid gets the farm down, but now we see as Araquanid does not really want to see Noctowl. Noctowl makes it to the Sky Attack here, putting pressure onto the Araquanid. Sky Attack is going to be shielded. Araquanid continuing to farm. Does Araquanid go for the Bug Buzz, or is it the Bubble Beam? It's the Bubble Beam. Do you end up switching into the DELPHOX? We do not see a switch. Noctowl very low, just gonna take the Bubble Beam here and leave it all up to DELPHOX. DELPHOX hitting for neutral here with the Fire Spins. DELPHOX continuing to farm. We're gonna see a charge move thrown by the Araquanid. Araquanid going for the Bubble Beam. DELPHOX, unfortunately, no way to fix its attack. Going for the Mystical Fire. That's gonna KO. In comes the Sableye, and the Sableye gets farmed down. Hopping to the final match, picking up a terrible lead, Noctowl into Sandslash. We see a safe switch into the Galarian Stunfisk, and Galarian Stunfisk is going to be answered with Trevenant. Galarian Stunfisk, this is a losing matchup for it, but the nice thing is it can make it pretty close. Stunfisk is going to no shield here. Opponent full sends the Shadow Ball, and that means unfortunately Stunfisk will not be able to make a play for swap. As the Rock Slide, not going to be enough to KO, and Trevenant can just farm down. This does mean that Noctowl is going to be able to absorb this energy, and the hope is, with the Shadow Claw user out of the way, that the DELPHOX can put in work in the endgame here. We are going to see the Seed Bomb thrown into the Noctowl, and looking to immediately send in the DELPHOX. In the back, it's the Medicham. DELPHOX has a lot of work to do here. DELPHOX going straight for the Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire is going to get a shield from the Medicham. Medicham did build up to the Psychic. We see a shield, and the Medicham does full send the Psychic. Thankfully, we do not see a debuff from the Psychic. And now just going straight for the Mystical Fire, not even building up to the Blast Burn. Mystical Fire is going to get a shield, and again, another debuff. This is a Fire-type Icy Wind clone, so it is a guaranteed attack drop. Medicham goes for another Psychic. We're going to see DELPHOX look to overfarm, go for the Mystical Fire. Is Mystical Fire going to be enough to KO from here? Medicham does get KO'd. In comes the Sandslash. Sandslash getting torn apart by the Fire Spins, but dies with the Mystical Fire, and this is going to be close. I believe 2 Ice Punches are not quite going to KO here, but it's going to be a razor-thin margin for error. Sandslash goes for Ice Punch number 2. That gets the Noctowl low. Noctowl able to hang on, withstanding the charge moves, making it to the Shadow Ball, and that is a good game. And now some final thoughts on DELPHOX and the 2 new charge moves that it got, Blast Burn and Mystical Fire. First off, having these 2 charge moves is an improvement for DELPHOX. Compared to what DELPHOX was working with previously, having a bait move that is a Fire-type Icy Wind clone in Mystical Fire, and having the hard-hitting move that is Blast Burn, a definite improvement, but unfortunately not enough of an improvement to give DELPHOX any meta relevance. DELPHOX, probably worth getting 1 or 2 decent ones, just in case it ends up being decent in a future limited meta, but in terms of DELPHOX in the Open Great League, it's a Pokemon you can safely go without. However, the interesting thing will be Mystical Fire in the main series games can be learned by a lot of different Pokemon, so the question will be, what other Pokemon, now that Mystical Fire is in the game, will the move be given to? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.